Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Sawadee Kap Tukon, that means hello, everybody in Thai. And when I do this, it's a formal greeting in Thailand, which is called a Y. You do this morning, afternoon, evening, no matter the situation. And before I begin, I want to say that whoever came up with that intro is a wonderful person, an even better writer, and you deserve a raise. I came up with that intro. On November 17th at 1 a.m., I received a text that read, "Apply ASAP." I know this may sound funny, but those two words to me are so daunting. And in that moment, they stirred up a lot of anxiety because with most applications, you have to kind of sell yourself, give bits and pieces that you know the second party will like because the whole picture is too much, at least for right now. Not to mention, I'm in my village in Thailand thinking, Henry Samanganda has got to be crazy. I mean, who does he think I am? You may be asking, who is Henry Samanganda? It's that guy that's coming on the screen right there. Henry is the one friend that God sends to tell you to do the impossible. And when you ask him how, he says, yeah, God only told me to tell you to do the impossible, not how to do it. You got to go ask him. I said, bro, thank you. Very helpful. But also I said, bro, I appreciate you for believing that I could speak at TEDx, but let's not forget your story. Coming all the way from Uganda with literally, he told me this, only $1 in a dream, and now a software engineer. Plus, you were in Seattle and I'm in Thailand. How would I even get back? This is what I was thinking. His response, bro, I am too busy and stressed. Figure it out. And somehow I landed. If you were to told me back in 2022 when I graduated that I'll be standing here in this capacity, I would told you that you were a fool and that you were lying to me. For those of you who don't know, after graduating here from Stetson, I decided to serve my country through the Peace Corps. As a peace youth development volunteer in Thailand, where I will serve another year in 4 months. And it is because of this journey that I'm able to come back here and give you the key to finding purpose. When I was made aware of the theme of this event, which is becoming you, 2 questions immediately came to mind. What are you doing? And where are you leaping? My job here today is to make these 2 questions so distinct that they won't ever come close to becoming synonymous, which will in turn give you the key to leap to and through your purpose. What are you doing? I'm not talking about the text message that you send to your baby girl when you're stuck on hard times at 1 a.m. Some of my brothers in here know what I'm talking about. And mama, I don't. I'm an innocent young man. And those text messages are from Google, don't worry. No, what I'm asking you is, what are you doing in life? And what we all must ask ourselves. And to that question, many will say, hey, rightfully so, I'm a barber, I'm a stylist, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a consultant, I'm even a Peace Corps volunteer. And don't get me wrong, these may very well be your purpose, but if they're not, we must ask ourselves, is this all that we're called to be? Because I wholeheartedly believe that who we are is greater than the title that we hold in this current moment. But please, especially after Valentine's Day, don't go home and say, take this out of context. Baby, Brother D-Lo gave us a word on tonight. And something's telling me it's time to leap up out this relationship of marriage. The title has expired and it's time for a renewal. Why should I settle for less? No. What I'm referring to is a purpose-filled journey. We have to like dismantle this idea that walking in your purpose means the leaps along the way are going to be easy. How about we debunk this now, right? That's why I came all the way here from Thailand. Okay, here it is. You will always find purpose when you come to a crossroad. Let me say it one more time for you. You will always find purpose when you come to a crossroad. And this is going to make a lot more sense here soon. But usually, when you get there, it's going to provide you two options. An option to do and an option to leap. Now, many will choose to do and few will choose to leap. And that's okay. But you have to decide which direction you want to take. So, if I were to ask you, where are you leaping? As opposed to, what are you doing? How quickly did it take for you to come up with a thought or response to that question? And it's okay if it did, because it did for me as well. Not so quick, right? We live in a world where doing has become synonymous with leaping. And if that's the case, then why do we fall into the social pressures of doing? I argue that the only way to become the you that you're supposed to be is to take the leaps of faith that are destined along your path. And that the action of leaping itself is a signifier that purpose is found. So let's get to like the definitions. What does it mean to leap? What does it mean to do, right? In simple terms, to do is the path of least resistance. It's where you're most comfortable. You're on the conveyor belt of life. You've been on there your whole life. There's no real exertion or energy towards your purpose. You're on there, doesn't mean you're off trajectory. Whereas when you're leaping, which means to spring a long way, to a great height, and with great force. By definition, this requires a high level of faith as compared to the one you see on that screen. And with most leaps like this, the person doing the jumping wants to know at least three things. At least I did. The starting point, the potential risk of me taking this leap, and how it will be when I land. But only two of these things can be humanly calculated. Unfortunately, how you land will never be up to you. It can only be foreshadowed by faith and one's belief in knowing that the best you comes after the landing. I can prove this with my story. What I calculated in the beginning was not me leaping to Thailand. My crossroad to purpose. I was under the illusion that right after you graduate from undergrad, you're immediately supposed to matriculate to graduate school. So much so that as soon as I got off that stage in 2022, every question that I knew I was going to receive had a scripted response to it. And it was something like this. Oh, in just a few weeks, I'll be heading to my internship in DC. Doing what? I'm glad you asked. I'll be working for a political campaign company that helps candidates who call me and say, I have the money and I need to win. Oh, and right after that, I'll be heading to graduate school. These were the things I was just so proud to say, because I know this is probably going to be one of the few moments that I'll receive questions like this. Plus, if I'm being honest, they were more socially acceptable than saying, hey, I know I'm going to go to graduate school, but I don't know if I should go right now. I don't know if my heart's in it. Plus, I want to leap. So, what happened? I did anyway. I went to DC, had a pretty successful internship, made a lot of great connections. Plus, I got a taste for the sport of politics. By the time my internship came to an end, I knew I had to respond though. So I made a decision to attend graduate school. On top of that, I received a pretty great scholarship, and my mom had put money on the lease to seal the deal. By By this time, 7 months had gone by since I applied to the Peace Corps, and there was no guarantee that I was going to receive that lucky email that said that I was accepted. Just to give you context, the reason why I applied to the Peace Corps to begin with was because I had this undeniable passion for helping youth, which is what I did all 4 years here while being at Stetson, working at the Boys and Girls Club right up the street, by way of me being in the Bonder program. We have so many Bonders in here tonight. And just a side note, the Peace Corps does not only focus on youth development, but that was just the program that I was interested in the most. As I saw it, the Peace Corps was an opportunity for me to work with youth on an international level, to go to Asia, which is a continent I'd never been to before, to learn a very special language in Thai, which I've been blessed to be able to do so far, and to grow my personal relationship with God, because up until that point, that would be the biggest leap of faith that I would take in my life, but that was no longer an option because I didn't hear back until a few days from when my mom made that financial decision. I checked my email after a long day of interning in DC. It said, "Congratulations on being invited to serve as a Peace Corps volunteer in Thailand." This was me when I got back to my room. It was at this moment that I was filled with excitement and palpable fear, because I knew I was at my crossroad. Simultaneously, my girlfriend at the time came to visit me in Thailand, and we're both celebrating the fact that I'm about to leave to Thailand, until we realized that we were going to have to leap in separate directions. But I also had to call my mom and let her know my decision, right? Shoot, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so I dialed her up. "Hey, Ma, how you doing? Doing good?" "Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Ma, first off, I want to appreciate you for all that you do. For being the best mother a son could ask for. For giving even when you may not have had it to give. And like any mother who knows when their child wants something, she's like, 'Boy, what do you want?' I said, 'Mama, I want to leap.' And boy, was I met with rage. I know she's looking at me crazy right now, but disclaimer, she wasn't mad that I wanted to leap. It was that I wanted to leap after I finalized my decision with graduate school, which is completely warranted. And what added to that, I was still taking a huge gamble. There was still no guarantee that I would go to Thailand because of the rigorous task lists that are given to invitees before their time to serve, which causes many potential volunteers to fall out of the pool. And if that was me, I would have to wait a whole nother year to enroll into my graduate program, work from home, part-time job, whatever. But I can honestly say that making that leap in that moment was the best decision of my life. And so can it be with yours. This is not to say that you got to move all the way across the world to find purpose. I'm not saying that. Everybody has their own individual assignment, but hopefully this speech has made it a lot more clear of how to identify it. Yes, when I came to the crossroad, the relationship that I was in at the time, it took a hit and it didn't survive it. So to all my students in there, when you're chasing your purpose, sometimes relationships will fall to the wayside. And if you don't let it fall, they will end up sacrificing themselves. Yes, when I got to the crossroad, I had to disappoint my mom for a hot second. So you have to deal with that, maybe potentially upsetting a few family and friends, but they will eventually get the picture. Yes, I had to appear indecisive or scared. Yes, this decision meant that I would have to move all the way to the other side of the world for 2 years by myself without the potential of me ever coming back in between. But also, yes, to who I am today. And I wouldn't be who I am, and I even wouldn't be on this stage if I hadn't taken that leap way back when. So what made this the best leap of faith? Am I just hyping this all up? Okay, let me just tell you in a few sentences based on the time that I have. I found that I can live with people from a different culture, a different religion, a different language, and still feel like family and not like another. I found that I can have a new passion for teaching and show up for kids who only care that I'm in their presence. I found a language that connected me outside of being a foreigner, but gave me a newfound respect amongst locals. I found a peace of living alone, not having any family or friends by my side, calling me any time of night to pick me back up when I'm down. And also living simply, without luxury, in the village, living off the land, close to nature, fishing, eating what I catch, eating what locals eat. This was all very rare to me, but I realized I can do it. So, mark my words, there will come a time when you reach your crossroad, whatever that may be. And your response to this decision will dictate how your life will go. This is not to say that you can't be successful by way of doing. We see it every single day in our culture. But remember this: success without purpose means nothing. It's been a year since I've been away from home, which is why I have to extend my gratitude both to Stetson and TEDx for allowing me the opportunity to leap back home to see my family and friends, but with purpose. Kap kum kap. Thank you.